Hello, I will show you around in my studio, and I will talk about a few synths here. Um, First of all, why I have so many synthesizers. Um, in the 90s, a lot of electronic musicians sold their equipment because everything was in the box, everything was in the computer, and use VSTs. It's very simple, but it was a mistake because work with a computer is different than work with the interface of a synthesizer or a drum machine or something else, because you talk to the machine and the machine talks to you, and computers are boring. So I only use my computer to record audio tracks, and that's it. So I have in my studio a few hubs to work with. I have hubs with synthesizers and sequencers everywhere, and I disconnect them from my computer. I never start to work with my computer. I always start to work with keyboards, synthesizers, sequencers, sounds, drum machines, apart from my computer. Hello, Louis. So I'll show you around what I have here. So I have my recording computer. Then I have on the right from me my speakers. These one are tannoy speakers and little ref tones. The tannoys I have because they have a perfect phase. The tweeter is inside the woofer, so you don't have problems with phasing, and you can hear everything around at the same time, at the same moment, in the same way. So that's why. I have an Octatrack here, a sampler that I use a lot to play back old samples from the 90s, 80s, or resample stuff from myself. Mono machine, I have two of them. One is in stores, and this one I use sequencing tool for other machines, other synthesizers, or inside the box, inside the mono machine. Then on my right side I have a rack with a lot of stuff, effects, amplifiers, Tascam recorders, compressors, BBE, process, old Clark, not the Behringer stuff, but the real old Clark graphic equalizer. Why? Because it's very grungy. It's like it gives the same as tape saturation when you overdrive it a little bit. Then the drummer compressor limiter gate, and the old 70s oral exciter type C, because it opens your mix. Then we start with the keyboard synthesizers. This one is the remake from Korg, the RRP Odyssey. I'm not satisfied with it because it's too weak and it doesn't sound like the original. I played the original in the 80s in Antwerp in a shop, and I was so impressed. I bought me now a few years ago this RP Korg full size, and I'm very disappointed, and I'm gonna sell it because it doesn't have the same quality, sound quality than the original. So no good. Then the MFB Dominion 1. I'm very satisfied with this one because it's a crazy machine. It's very aggressive, and you can work your way around everything inside. So I'm very happy. I must tell you that all this side of the keyboards is connected to my MSQ 700 digital keyboard recorder. Very old machine, but you can play everything live or step time in it. So you can make a whole song only with this sequencer. You can connect it to various drum machines and synthesizers. 8 MIDI channel it is. Then we have the Summit here. It's a working horse. I use it for a lot of stuff, and it's really very good synthesizer. It's not so cheap, but Yes. Then we have the Moog. The Moog grandmother. Every studio must have a Moog. Why you must have a Moog? Because it has the Moog sound, and it goes very deep, and it's very very brassy and very fat. That's why I have it, and I use it often. Then we go down. I have the Lyra. It's a Russian synthesizer, organic, special Chernobyl sound. I use it for background industrial stuff, and then I sample it in the Digitect or in the Octatrack, and use it in tracks. That's the way I work. Then we have the Synthrex. It's a copy from the Synthy. Those are very expensive. I never bought one because they were too expensive. So I bought the Synthrex, and it's a crazy machine. And the Lyra is connected. Different music making. So what we have next, we have my mixing desk, and it's an analog mixing desk. Why it's an analog mixing desk? Because you can overdrive it, and you can I have 6 aux cents and a lot of effects. So it's very functional for me, and I don't like digital mixing desks because they run too hot all the time, and when you send it to in a clip, they're clipping different. So that's why. Totally down. I have Akai AX73, and it's my favorite dark string synthesizer. Carpenter sounds. Sounds very spooky, and I love it. And it's very big, it's very heavy, but it's nice. Then here we have the base station, the new version. It's plastic, but it sounds very nice, and it's very fast to edit. I have also some old rack gear. This is a O3RV from Korg, and they are very cheap, and they are very good because they have Rumpler sounds, and they are the 90s grungy Rumpler sounds. They're not perfect. I don't like perfect stuff, and I sequence it with the Digitect. So I always start working with some machines and a sequencer without my computer. And when I think we are ready to connect it to the computer, we connect it and we start to record. Then I have the Oberkorn. Oh, I forgot something. I have a heat kit here. The heat kit is a receiver transmitter, and I use it to steal noise from the atmosphere and then sample it. It's a 50s or 60s receiver, transceiver. Here we have the Oberkorn 16-step 3 sequencer, not tuned, and I use it to sequence my old Roland Sh-5 together with the Mono Machine keyboard version from Electron. I bought this as a collector because it makes money, but when I start to work with it in this version, I'm so satisfied that I will keep it. So it has a nice place here. The Roland Sh-5 I bought very cheap too. Now the prices are getting very high, but 5-6 years ago they were still normal. It's a pity, but a lot of people buy it just to make money. But normally, I think it's for young people, young musicians. It would be fantastic to use it because it's really it's electricity. That's you can't compare it with new machines. It's something completely different. Then down here we have the Ensoniq TS12. I use it for chorus, movie music, scores. Fantastic machine, large, big, but it sounds the way I need it. Then we have on top here the Evolver, Mono Evolver from Dave Smith. It's a PPG like synthesizer. I like to use it the digital way. We have two oscillators, analog oscillators, and two digital with ring modulator and shape modulation and FM, and I like to use it that way. Then here we have the Analog Solutions Telemark. It's British and it's very aggressive, and I use it to sequence stuff. I'm a very lazy keyboardist, and I never play keyboards, and that's why I have so much sequencer, because I'm lazy. Then we have a Nordstrom Dre. I used to pad real time my drums or some other effects or samples. Then we go up again. This is the Kawai synthesizer 100F, and this one is used by Mark Vragen in the early days. It's even on a video clip in the Xenon Live with Clinic, I think. This one, it's a very special synthesizer, a lot of possibilities. Nice machine. Then we have the Roland Sh-5. Bought it cheap. It fell from a loading platform from on a truck, so it was almost completely destroyed and ready for trash. But I bought it, and I went to a guy in Antwerp who could fix it, and he fixed it with a new case and new oscillators and new stuff inside, and now I use it and I'm very satisfied. Then we have the Roland System 100 and the sequencer 105. So I use them. I don't have the expander, so I use the Sh-5 as an expander. So it's only as one oscillator, and a lot of people will say one oscillator, that's even the sub oscillator. No, it's different. This is pure electricity. These are all discrete components. These are not the plastic boxes like in the RP Odyssey. It's fake. For me it's fake. This is the real stuff, and it sounds extraordinary. Roland System 100, I think 76, and Sh-5 78. Still working and still in use. Then we have the Roland GD800 digital synth. Bought it very cheap, I think 150 euros, because it had the red glue problem, but I fixed it. And it has those nice carpets, and that's that 80s, 90s, early 90s sound. I have more drum machines here. This one is the Yocto 808. It's a copy remake from the Roland 808, and it's quite the same. Not only the clap is different, but the rest is the same than the original. And I use a lot of pedals, stomp boxes on my keyboards and on some keyboards and drum machines, because the harmonic, it pushes the harmonic in the sounds. So I have it on my drum machines. I have it on the keyboards. I have it on the even on the old Korg system here. Then we have here the Dave Smith Pro 2, a very complex machine. I like it a lot, but it takes a lot of time to edit, but it's okay. Then the VFX Vomito Negro sounds, all the standard strings and basses and stuff. Nice machine. Then we have another hub here. It's the Sequencer 12 from Node Machines, Mold Machines. So I use the sequencer with all this hub here, and it's connected also to the Roland System 100 and the Korgs. So then we go up, and this is a little bit Eurorack. I don't use anymore at the moment. I sold all my Eurorack because it was so nice to play with, but it was not easy to make tracks with. So I was always lost in sounds for hours and hours, and at the end I just was tripping in myself, but I didn't make tracks. Roland, no, the Korg synthesizer, the MS-50, I bought on eBay for cheap, because the owner told me that it was not functioning properly. He couldn't check it, so he sold it to me, and it's arrived here in the box, original box, and in the original wrap, plastic wrap, with a user manual, and it was brand new. So thank you very much. Then we have the original MS-20 here, the 35 filter. I bought it in Germany, and it comes from on top of a church organ, so it's used for maybe 30-40 years in a church. I bought it also cheap. Yeah. Then we have here another hub, and that's the machine drum from Electron. I have two of them. One is on the shelf, one is here. And the old Yamaha TG 33. It's a FM digital synth from the 90s, I think, and it's very gritty, and it sounds very good because it's not the shape from the sounds are not 100% nice. I don't like nice stuff. That's why I buy those old digital synths. So I think we're around, and we're finished, and that's my studio at the moment. And I work with different hubs, and when I have my tracks ready on my hubs, I connect it to my studio, to my computer, and then I start to record. That's the way I work. Thank you.